know you will not disappoint me.
Mr. Van Wyck, I'm sorry to disturb you, but your wife said it was all right to come back anytime.
Any progress, Lieutenant?
Well, we're inching along, but you know, these things take time. Can we come in?
Of course, come in.
Good evening, Mrs. Van Wyck.
Good evening.
I hope you don't mind us barging in like this.
Oh, no, of course not.
This is Officer Banks. He's come to assist me. Officer, why don't you put the box right down there? I was thinking, ma'am, about what you said this morning. That you woke up last night because you thought you heard a noise.
Yes.
What is this?
That's an experiment, sir. A test. I'm afraid I'm going to need your assistance. I hope you don't mind.
Well, certainly I'd be happy to help. What would you like me to do?
I'd like you to go upstairs to your bedroom, and after the test, tell us what you saw and what you heard. We're going to remain down here. Buzz us on the telephone when you're ready.
All right.
I'll bring it up.
No, I can do it.
What are you trying to prove, Lieutenant? Why are you putting my wife through all these things?
I'm terribly sorry, sir, but I just have to start somewhere on this thing. You see, I can't seem to get a handle on it. May I have the gun? Is this loaded?
It's loaded, Lieutenant.
Is the safety catch on or off?
On.
Would you take it off? Hate guns. Would you go up on the stairs and watch?
I'm to assume that you're going to shoot the gun in the sandbox?
Yes, sir, but you don't have to worry about the bullet going through to the floor. I've tried this before.
Why don't you use a blank cartridge?
Wouldn't sound the same. It never does. All set out there?
All set.
All right, Miss Van Wyck, thank you. You want to put your fingers in your ears? This thing can make a lot of noise.
I can handle it.
I wish I could say the same. Officer?
Yes?
Would you ask Miss Van Wyck what she saw and what she heard?
Mrs. Van Wyck, did you see or hear anything? She said it wasn't very loud, but she heard it, and her door opened.
What are you looking for, Lieutenant? What are you going to prove? Maybe I can help you.
Well, I wanted to know if you fired a gun here in the study, whether the noise would open the door to the bedroom.
Yeah, you wouldn't have need this foolish experiment. I could have told you. You only need to ask.
Well, I really wanted to see for myself.
You saw it. What's the point?
Well, you know that the other night, the night of the murder, your wife heard something, and she didn't know what it was, so she called her mother, who didn't answer. So then she buzzed the study and she spoke to you.
That's exactly true. It was just before I went to the art show.
And that was around 9:13.
Yes.
That's a very big problem, sir.
You have to help me, Lieutenant. I fail to see where the problem is.
But Mr. Baxter, your security guard, he said that the shooting occurred around 9:30, give or take a moment.
What?
But if the noise that your wife heard was a gunshot, that means the shooting took place before 9:13.
How can my wife say it was a gunshot? What are you talking about, Lieutenant? If it would have been a gunshot, I would know myself. I was here.
And I assure you, I heard nothing. And as a matter of fact, she's not sure if she heard anything either. She thought maybe she was dreaming.
Oh, she wasn't dreaming, sir. That's for certain. Would you come upstairs with me for a moment? It had to be a noise. I mean, that's the only thing that would explain it. Otherwise, why would her door open? You see, that's my problem, sir. What caused the door to open? There had to be a noise.
She didn't tell me the door opened.
She didn't?
No.
She didn't tell me either.
What's going on?
I would like to continue this a step further, if you don't mind.
Yes, certainly. Come in.
Last night, when you thought you heard a noise, did the door open?
Well, I wasn't aware of it.
According to your statement, ma'am, you were lying in your bed reading. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
Would you turn out the lights, please? Now, as far as you remember, you were lying on the right side of your bed, and you had your book in your right hand, and your head was against the pillow. And you were facing your night table, and you had your reading lamp on.
That's what I remember.
I think you'll both get a better idea of what I'm talking about if you'll position yourselves in this area. Now, according to your statement, ma'am, you then dozed off. And then you thought you heard something. And you sat up. And you thought, well, maybe I'm just dreaming. And then you said that you saw your bathrobe at the foot of the bed, and you saw the toy clown in the chair, and you remember having the thought, well, at least I'm awake now. And then you turned to the phone to call your mother. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Where was your bathrobe, ma'am? Was it right about there?
Just in here.
Yes, you would have seen that very clearly. The problem is, how could you see the toy clown in the chair? That part of the room is dark. There is no question in my mind that the door was open.
Well, what difference would it make?
What we're trying to determine, ma'am, is whether you were dreaming or whether you really heard something.
The lieutenant is saying there must have been a noise, otherwise the door wouldn't have opened. Am I correct?
That is exactly right.
I assume, according to the little experiment you made before, you believe it must have been a gunshot.
That is a possibility.
I only can repeat myself, Lieutenant. I still was in the house at this time. If it would have been a gunshot, I could have heard it.
That's true.
Well, you must have heard something. I mean, there had to be a noise, otherwise the door would not open.
Elizabeth, you remember last month when the Freemans came over to spend the weekend with us? The problem what we had with the rear door?
Yes?
Closing and opening the whole time?
That's right. Our back door kept just popping open for no apparent reason.
You know, Lieutenant, my system is very elaborate and very sensitive. The more complex a system is, the more it is exposed to malfunctions. We have to accept these little problems from time to time. I'm afraid, Lieutenant, the little parlor trick proved absolutely nothing.
Just one more thing.